Hello, everybody. We're live now. I love
Boom
not
smack
giving you
block.
any kind of indication when we go live or when we don't go
I
live.
am just deeply grateful that I can that I can successfully dodge sounding like a total fucking I sound like an idiot already on here, but I sounding like unsavory out of context because of like you just doing a little funny silly gamer timing of the hitting stream and hitting end stream. Hi Liz.
All right.
Good
Sorry,
to
I had
see
to
you in
dial
chat.
back in the music.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome
Nice
to
shatter.
the episode where I'm close to the mic again, and I actually need to turn my volume down even more.
It's not to exit, actually.
But I was about to peak, and if I speak loudly, I will peak. I actually need to turn it down
You
even
haven't
more.
peaked yet.
Jesus Christ!
You
There we
got plenty of
go.
room ahead of you, actually.
Okay.
I have every
I
faith
should
in you.
put a compressor on this at some point, but actually I might have one. Anyway, that's my audio engineering talking. So,
This is the place for it.
it's been 2 weeks. We skipped a week. This is the first time ever that we've ever skipped a week. So, this is nice.
Yeah,
It's nice to know that's never
we've never
happened
done.
before.
We've never even skipped 2 weeks in a row. That's
Yeah, we
I
definitely
don't
didn't
think
miss a whole month one time.
I don't think we have it in us to do something like
Yeah.
that.
It's a affront to the fans.
Yeah, up front to like when the one of the letters was blurred out, and so it like clearly you're saying the word fans, but like it cuts off before the end.
Yeah, it's an affront to the fan.
It's up
AKA
front to
my
the
girlfriend.
yeah. Hello, Ashley's girlfriend.
Um,
I also haven't known I constantly forget who is a they them, and so I never even feel comfortable saying your girlfriend because I'm like, oh, should I say your partner, which isn't like a chore. It's just I'm surprised when it turns into a girlfriend. It says, well, yeah, we spent like an hour at Best Buy earlier, and I'm surprised we made it out as quickly as I did.
well, it's because you
What'd you
said you were getting too tired, and I wasn't gonna force you to stay at Best Buy.
Do you guys like lollygag around a Best Buy like it's a Spencer's Gifts and you're 17 years old?
I do, and
If
Liz begrudgingly lets me. I do
I'm
that at
just gonna
every store,
say,
though. I lollygag at every store. I meander.
when I am at a mall with people who are way too caught up in boring shit, like they're very pedantic about candles. I like the place that I have been dropped off at since I was 13 and will still happily be dropped off at the age of 25 years. Is just give me like a Blu-ray store to ogle at. Like, you know, they got Blu-rays, posters, pop vinyls. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
You know my favorite. So I'm not gonna do a whole fucking segment on how I hate Funko Pop. But my
Because
favorite
you've
thing
already
about
done
Funko Pop,
multiple episodes on that.
my favorite thing about Funko Pop is the best looking ones are the ones that ditch all of the things that make them look like Funko Pops.
No, yeah, I do think I think you've said that before, and I do understand it. Yeah, like there's ones that have like I can't remember a specific one, but there's ones that have like a super monster shape or something. Which it's weird
Yeah.
that they didn't do with the Hulk last time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, he just looks like
Funko.
it just looks like he's perpetually Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, he's just like
Also,
kind of buff.
thank you for clarifying, Liz, on your pronouns there in chat. Yeah,
But anyway, so not making an entire episode about Funko Pop again because I might end up with another one, and I didn't really.
I was going
want
back
Scuba
to Best Buy for a
McNugget.
second because I remember when I was when I was a teenager, I would just like stop by a Best Buy if I was out, grocery shopping with family or whatever, and I would bring my little MP3 player, and I had an aux cord. And I don't know if they still do this, and I am a legit a bit upset if they don't. Though I know Bluetooth headphones are more popular now, but they had like displays with like headphones And I would like try out a bunch of the headphones because it literally had like it had aux in ports, so that you could just demo the headphones because it was so much more common to carry around an aux cable at that time. Like not everyone did it, but it wasn't rare. Yeah.
Yeah. Really, I wish this Best Buy was a little bit bigger. It's a fairly new one. It's not a huge store. So they didn't have a huge selection of stuff that I really wanted to look at. That's also like half of the reason we left early.
You don't get to test out the bass drop in a Dead Mouse song that is 2 years old instead of 15 years old.
Look, once we get the fucking living room set up here, and I have both of the Sonos speakers that we have in the same room on the same system.
Teeth with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Best Buy was a Spirit Halloween last year, so that's how new it was.
I thought you meant like spiritually, metaphorically. It is the Spirit Halloween for tech nerds.
It's not Cyber Monday.
Is that the thing? Like, is that the equivalent?
There's Cyber Monday.
Well, I know Cyber Monday is a thing. I didn't know it was that kind of thing.
Oh no, it's not like a store or anything, but that's when,
Do you constantly hear my chair squeaking, by the way, when I just like lean forward and back?
I don't think so.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right, but yeah, so we skipped a week for the first time in our history, and it was because we're going to every other week. Presumably we're still doing this. I mean, we haven't necessarily sat and talked about how we felt about last week's Just Gaming stream. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Because it was my idea. I should go second in what my thoughts are.
Sure. From the start of when you proposed it, and my opinion has not changed on this part, conceptually, love it to pieces. I did notice, like, during it, because, like, I've heard 1,000 podcasts like this of, like, different kinds to where I can be comfortable just, having different attitudes and being more natural here. But I did start to notice, like, under halfway through filming that episode, that I'm like, oh, right, like, gaming commentary, despite it being like the first place that I tried to make content way back when, is not really a place that I'm like comfortable yet, but it's not a place that I'm like upset about or scared of or whatever. And so I could feel and hear in myself all those little signs of, oh, right, this guy doesn't know how to do this in a way that feels natural and entertaining yet. And that might have come through on the stream. I really don't know. But yeah, no. So like, I didn't expect to be like to feel that much out of my shell with it, because it just kind of seemed like a natural progression from something like this. But I did still, I did still love it to pieces, and I do passionately think we should continue doing it. I'd love to explore more and more games, especially ones that like have more like variance in visuals than a retro style game, though I do want to also go back to retro style games. I just think with that kind of game it might have been a little harder for me to consistently commentate on it. There were like several times when I was just looking and pretty, yeah.
So we need a boring to look at game so you can commentate better.
No, we need it. The literal opposite
don't worry,
way
I'll
around
play Call of Duty.
And we can, what was it, the like would you rather folks from back in the day, when they had like Call of Duty footage on, because you couldn't just do a podcast at the time.
Yeah.
Still have young people interested. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
I really liked it. I mean, I like gaming more than I like podcasting, so it works out very well for me. I mean, especially like, I think we get more people over on Twitch. I think people get notified of our stuff better than they do on YouTube, is what it feels like. Because like, I don't even remember if I fully posted on Blue Sky or anything, and we had more people pop in than we normally ever do on here.
I also, one benefit that I really like to it is that, because like I like the idea of getting to participate in like the content focused around really good games, really fun games. But I also am not enough of an idiot to think that I'm any good at, at most video games to where I'd be fun to watch like consistently. So me just getting to like mouth off and be weird and talk and shit while like you are good at games and you go and do the things that people actually want to see with it while we're just chatting as people, I think is a perfect combo.
Yeah. What I should do, because I've started that Steam curator page, I should just like go through those games as ones to do for the show. Though I presume when we do our next one, we'll just finish Shovel Knight because we
I
got
mean, it makes
halfway
sense.
through that game.
It's a two-parter to start series
Yeah.
premiere, season premiere.
Yeah. I have to let me look at what do I have on my.
Oh, Liz says, if it helps, Steve, I didn't pick that up on your. Oh, thank you on your mannerisms and vocals when I was watching last week. That's really sweet of you, Liz. I'm always anxious about that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, I got like real fucking good games, especially like real good one-off type of games to play. I'll go through Gunpoint at some point on the stream.
Oh, is Gunpoint the one with like the hacking into shit?
Yeah, the superpower pants.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that game. That's one. Yeah, I. That is one that I am significantly less of a backseat in. That is just in like a little what's the word? Like in a little fuzzy gray area of like the side of my taste in video games and what I'm most attracted to playing. I think I've got most of the way through when I played it myself before I stopped being able to figure it out. Liz also says, OMG, I feel that so much. I suck at most games, but I love to hang out and watch and chill as people play games both in person and via streams. Yeah. When I was a kid, Liz, and I've gotten back into it recently, watching walkthroughs of games that at the time I couldn't afford, and now it's more that I'm just like, oh, I'm interested in doing different things. I could just literally watch someone play it like it's a series or movie. Or if it's a game I'm not that interested in, I just think it looks cool, I could watch someone commentate. Like, you know, like a Ghost Robo back in the day kind of. It's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's more affordable than buying games. Yeah.
Fuck it. The game that at some point we're going to do streams of it, but so far it seems like it's going to be a meaty game, so it's going to be mini streams of it when we do finally get to it. I just started
Like,
playing
probably
it
spread
the
out.
other day. It's Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. It's a Game Boy Advanced style game, to the point where if you click one of the buttons, it zooms out the game and you see that it's running on a 3D model of what looks like a Game Boy.
Yo.
And like the sound sounds like it's coming out of a speaker rather than just you're getting the straight audio from the game.
This is fucking perfect. And
It's so
like
fucking good.
At first I was just mildly passively curious, and now you have hooked me in with the world's greatest gimmick.
It's very good.
Yeah. In terms of your general gaming habits, do you think you lean more towards like, oh, what new fun stuff can people innovate with in games, or are you more attracted to retro, like nostalgia?
I really like both. The only games I don't like are MOBAs and MMOs. That's typically how I have framed myself for gaming. I can't think of like any other genres I'm just like no about. And even like there's one MOBA I'll play, but it's not a
You
traditional
even get
one,
into
and it's kind of
clickers.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I played the fuck out of Adventure Capitalist when it came out.
Yeah.
Like that was running on my phone 24/7. Not even in the background. I just had it up so I could see where my money was at. I played a good amount of Cookie Clicker. Yeah. There's a few different idle games. Oh gosh, let me look up one because I met the developers of one at a convention that I really liked. Idle. That's not going to give me what I want, I think.
By the way, while she's looking that up in chat, if you want to give us your feedback on how you feel that the gaming format went so far, we'd love to hear it. Any version of it, any suggestions, any ideas that you have for games, and of course, it does have to go through the filter of Ashley gives a shit about the idea of playing it. But other than that, go right ahead.
Crusaders of the Lost Idols. That is
Ooh, I like
the
that
game.
title.
I mean, it's just an idle game. It's got kind of more than your average cookie clicker, but I liked it when I played it forever ago. When's the last time I played this fucking game? Let's see. Crusaders of the Lost Idols. 2016. So it's been a minute.
Oh, I was gonna say it's old. Yeah. I've been poisoned by the internet.
I mean, look, in gaming terms, 2016 is forever ago. One thing I fucking loved, there was somebody who posted, like, the classification of this is like half jokingly. Retro is any console that has an emulator, and they're like, yes, that makes the Switch retro and the PS4 non-retro.
Wait. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
so funny.
I can go behind it. I was trying to do some mental math there. Yeah.
God.
I'm trying to think. Well, oh, wait. Okay, so that you said that for consoles. So does that differ for you when it comes to individual games?
Look, I don't believe in that rule that I just said. Retro is like a vibe. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I have a hard
like,
cutoff, but you know what? I'm gonna do
the games
of
that
the year nominees over the years, and once I think of one as being retro, I'll let you know which year that is.
The games that I actively enjoy directly playing, they often fall into the category of like at least a retro style game, because it's like, oh, the simplicity of someone who's not that gaming literate, who can get a hang of the controls, and like basically like, because retro games were more optimized for, hey, people maybe don't quite yet even know what a video game is, let's hope they could just pick this up and fucking go. And so that's literally the camp I am exactly in when it comes to someone interested in games. One Finger Death Punch 2, I'd talk your ear off about it. Gunpoint. What was that? Aggressively retro coded Geometry Dash Retro Evolved, though I did literally wear down the rubber of an analog stick on that one. But it's very, very fun. Most of them, like, most of the ones I enjoy playing would be I either already are or would be really, really not difficult to translate to like just a straight up like NES or Game Boy style. Yeah, like Road Redemption is another really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, like, see, my brain is thinking like Xbox Live Arcade feels retro now. Most of the games on Xbox Live Arcade have the retro feel, like Super Meat Boy, Jetpack Joyride. I don't remember if that's an Xbox Live game.
I didn't even remember that those were that. That doesn't feel right, but I do believe you.
Let's see, XBLA games.
Whatever happened to Happy Action Theater? That was like the coolest like Kinect gimmick that I never tried it.
I don't remember that game. Forget Braid. Braid feels fairly retro at this point.
I remember the title. I don't remember the game.
It was like one of the first indie darlings.
Doritos
Crash Course is definitely retro.
That's
you know what's fucking stupid? Doritos Crash Course is such a good game.
But also, wait. You tell me the title Doritos Crash Course, that to me sounds like something I would have like fired up like one of those Unity 3D games in a browser in 2012. Like
it was like
it was a promotional
one of the earlier ones that just takes your Xbox avatar and you just play as them.
Oh, following in the me trajectory. I love that shit.
Castle Crashers feels retro now, despite it getting a DLC like this month.
Yeah. I want to say before I forget, something I would fucking kill for it, because we're in the rhythm of talking about retro gaming and styles like that as a whole. Oh God, I can't believe I've never thought about this. I would give how much goddamn blood to get to get to see a One Finger Death Punch 2 arcade cabinet. That game is desperate for that kind of style. And I would, oh, it's so delicious to think about. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna make you feel old, Liz. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking Explosion Man, the earlier Trials games, I think are definitely retro now.
Like the motorcycle trials?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
That
have
was
at least a
Xbox
couple of those.
360.
Makes sense.
And it
Oh.
pains me to say that Xbox 360 is retro, but like the earliest Game Awards was 2014. And it makes me want to say that that's not quite retro because Dragon Age Inquisition is there and that doesn't feel retro. Like Dark Souls 2 is there, that doesn't feel retro, but I guess it is now.
I don't think that the earliest Game Awards was 2014. I remember like copious records of them from like the 2000s.
Well, you might be
weren't
thinking
great,
of
but-
Game of the Years, not the Game Awards.
Okay,
Not the concept of awarding games every year. But
because I think
the show, the Game Awards.
if like because at least the clips I saw felt like it was the exact same thing, but you know, with more dubious ethics, of course, in media. But yeah.
Yeah, first award,
Yeah,
December 5th,
An exploit that's
2014.
out there. Mm.
Which, for some reason, Wikipedia decides to say 10 years ago after that. It's getting close to 11.
I think they just don't want to admit their own age at that point. 'Cause
Well,
that
the
doesn't
most
feel
recent
good
one
to
was
hear.
very explicitly this is the 10-year anniversary, and I think it is their best one for the last few years. Was this most recent one?
I would hope so for a decade anniversary.
But yeah, it's like I don't want to just say the Xbox 360 is retro, but I guess I have to, given some of the games that are on there definitely just are. Alien Hominid, like, yeah, that's a fucking
Every
retro
time-
feeling game now.
Every time I think of the Xbox 360, I cannot avoid the memories of the Xbox 720 rumors and, and designs. Oh god. Yeah, Liz, it's almost 11 years old. Oh god.
Oh god,
This is-
wait, don't
The
tell
world
me.
was supposed to end 13 years ago, by the way.
It doesn't feel right to say that Portal is a retro game.
Yeah, like any Valve game besides like the very first generation of them feels like it is supposed to be a timeless, like, you know, futuristic thing.
Like, I can see, like, even Half-Life 2 being called retro. It has that kind of, you can tell it's old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
but
got, like,
Portal feels a bit more, like, timeless. I mean, it does have a
I
few
feel-
years on Half-Life 2, but
I feel like I could watch people play Portal in like 5 or 10 years and still be like, no, yeah, this could be released today.
yeah.
It's
See,
it's more
maybe-
timeless and
Maybe we need a shift and reclassify what retro means. Because maybe retro shouldn't mean just old games.
I don't think a timestamp is necessarily the calling arbiter. I don't think that should be the sole decider.
I'm kind of proposing that retro get a definition in stone as like the first 4 or 5 generations of home consoles starting at the NES. And then anything before that is also just carte blanche retro as well. But like, we count generations by the NES. Sorry, fucking Commodore 64. Get fucked. But like the first 4 or 5, so that would leave us, so NES, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube to Wii, depending on where you want to cut the line. I think the Wii should be considered retro at this point.
I think the
Because like
Wii is sitting on the ledge real precarious, but I
I
will give it to you. At least the first half of its lifespan.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the Wii and that generation I think should be retro because afterwards we've had a couple more generations now, and you could be hard pressed to tell the difference between the next three generations versus you can tell the difference with every other generation of
I
consoles.
I want to say specifically for the Wii, that one, especially for how innovative it was for the time and just how futuristic it felt, and the memories of it still feeling very like it's still feeling like a fresh thing, still feeling like an exciting, like having a good gimmick to it that it utilized well. I I think, excuse me, I think that the Wii is a prime candidate for one of those things that you would assume you would go back and try it, and it doesn't feel like it's that old. But then when you actually go and set up a Wii and give it a shot, you're like, oh, yeah, this is like it's a prime candidate for severe rose-colored goggles as to how timeless it really does look. With no discredit to it, of course, but it's a skewed way of viewing it.
See,
Liz says, "Holy cow! Oh yeah,
no, it's fine. We can read.
yeah. I just
Just
realized that I
realized
graduated high school 12 years ago. It probably doesn't help my time memory that I haven't been to any class reunions. I don't know how often those actually happen." Liz also says, "I honestly agree with that definition of retro. There should probably be a name for the consoles that are after that, but still older." I think. mm,
I think so. Here, I
yeah.
wasn't finished with my proposal. So
Oh, please, yes.
I think like so before and then NES, Super Nintendo. I'm doing it based off of Nintendo because I can remember when they came out. But like
Mhm.
these generations, um, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, and then not the entire generation of consoles, just the Wii should be considered retro. The 360 and the PS3 should not be considered retro. They should be considered classics.
Okay, fair, but also, God, you want to fragment this, and I'm here
Look,
for it,
here,
but I
I'm
wasn't
going to
expecting
put
it.
an image of an Xbox 360 game and tell me that that isn't significantly different in feel and, quality than a Wii game.
So I just realized I have not had the chat of the server open this entire
For
time
those
yet.
listening, I posted an image of Alien Isolation running on the Xbox 360. I don't think I
Yeah,
can call that retro.
no, I'm sorry. This needs to look like it came out of Source 2 in order for it to. Or wait, was it Source or Source 2 that was Half-Life 2?
Half-Life 2 is Source. Source 2 right
Okay.
now is like a Dota card game, Counter-Strike 2, and like one other game. I don't remember
Okay,
what it
because I,
is.
I didn't know whether that was Source 3, like going by the numbers of the actual games using it, or if that's, or, yeah, okay, so, anyway, if this would look like, this would have to look like it was essentially made in Source, like, just after the PS2 sort of era, in order for me to call this looking retro. No, this could come out today, and sure, I'm sure somebody would figure out a way to complain about it, but you could show me this and say that a AAA studio developed and published this to be released a week from now, and I would not have any questions whatsoever about
Yeah.
that.
So I think here's my proposal. So like I said, the first
Yes.
few, the 3 or 4, well, no, 4 or 5 generations of consoles, excluding the 360 and PS3, are retro. 360, PS3 are classic consoles.
Sure.
Xbox One and PS4 are last gen, because they have not had a. Um, also, the Wii U don't. We're not even talking about the Wii U. No one bought the Wii U. It doesn't count. It doesn't matter.
We
You
could
could
put
call it
that
a
in retro.
classic console. The Wii U is not retro. Um,
It's not retro.
the Wii U could probably run Alien Isolation. Um,
Could I?
yeah.
What?
So the Wii U is a classic console because I don't think it lines up with Xbox One and PS4. Um, and then so Xbox One, PS4 is last gen, and of course we have the Xbox Series, um, and the PS5 and the Switch as well. The Switch is now last gen, but as the current console generation.
Technically.
And so Switch 2, Switch 2, current console generation. Give it another year and the original Switch will become last gen.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, at least for now, I'm gonna staunchly refuse to call the first Switch anything other than current gen. I think it's way too early.
Yeah, I think there's like a shared overlap of generations right now with the Switch and Switch 2.
Yeah. Do you
I
think the Switch 3 came out way late or something?
Well, no, the Switch 2 just it's so new that like some games are still being put out for the original Switch don't have a Switch 2 counterpart yet. So
Well,
that's why
because
there's an overlap.
the reason for my thinking on that is I don't know if my framing's just skewed over the years, but I always kind of felt like the Nintendo, and since they started making consoles, Sony and Sony and Microsoft consoles have like not literally come out at the same time, but like roughly the same like area of time. And I feel like uh the the latest Xbox, I've lost track of their naming scheme, and
It's
the
the Xbox
PS5.
Series.
What?
It's the Xbox Series.
Sure, cool. Anyway, I like it feels like those two came out at roughly the same time, and the Switch 2 took its sweet ass time. But that's also from a very outsider point of view.
Yeah, let me look up the um oh well, they're not giving me exact fucking dates. Give me my dates. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I get it. So fucking many. Oh, there. I hate this list. So here's a pet peeve of mine. It's fucking Atari every now and then will just put out a new mini console of their old shit, and gaming publications
You
love to put it
don't.
as its own console, and it's like, fuck
You
no.
don't
That's
get
me
to
putting the
do
fucking
that.
SpongeBob TV game as its own console. No, bad.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
So yeah, the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 came out around the same time. And the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but before that I don't think they were that close ever. Like they were usually oh no, okay, the Xbox 360 was a year before the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 3 came out around the same time as the Wii. Oh well, but these are Japan releases, so who knows fucking American releases? Because I remember the American releases being kind of staggered until like this last
6
couple
years
of
to come
console
across the pond.
generations.
Yeah.
Console release
Is
dates,
across the pond the same
America,
thing?
the only place.
Right. Wait, but sorry. Just like on a semantics thing, is it still referred to as across the pond if it's the Pacific Ocean?
That's not a pond
Neither is the Atlantic Ocean.
compared to the Pacific.
All right. I have nothing to argue with that on. I'm gonna check a map. Everyone knows I'm not a geographer. Hold on.
Let's see.
Google.
So Nintendo 64
You
came
look
out
up
in
the important stuff.
1996. Where the fuck? So
Oh
the
wow, this
PlayStation
is
came
so
out-
much bigger than I thought it was. I
The
thought they were roughly
Pacific's
about.
huge.
I really thought that, like, I didn't think they were the same, but I thought they were like roughly of comparable size. Oh
No.
good God.
Absolutely
is-
not.
This is not true. This is false information. Yeah, this is okay. Now I have a better view of this. Okay.
Yeah, so I think which phase of this is like the fourth generation. No, the third generation. So Sega Saturn, which people don't talk about because it lost, 1995. The PlayStation, 1995. It's not giving me a date, but it does appear that the Virtual Boy launched in between the Saturn and the PlayStation, so a couple months maybe. And then the Nintendo 64, 1996. And well, yeah, that's that generation. And then the next generation, Sega Dreamcast, 1999, PlayStation 2, 2000, Nintendo GameCube, 2001, and the Xbox is 2001. So like they've been like a year apart usually for big things.
Okay.
Xbox 360 is 2005, like I said before, and PlayStation 3 and Wii were both 2006.
Yeah, this all feels that like it's roughly hugging each other close enough together to make a pretty clear distinction usually.
Actually, Nintendo's the one breaking the mold recently because Nintendo released a console in 2017 and everyone else got them in 2020.
What do you mean?
The Switch came out in 2017 and its competitors for the next generation, the ones we have now for Xbox and PlayStation, came out in 2020.
Oh, okay. Wow, shit. Okay. They really had some elbow room there.
Yeah, it's because the Wii U failed so bad. They just made a new console instead.
I respect it. You know, swallowing it and going, okay, we'll make exactly what you thought the other one was. And then hopefully you'll enjoy this one. And everybody loved that decision.
Yeah, I think the Wii U had like a really short... Well, it was 2012. So 2012 to 20... So it was 4 years. So like decent, not as long as the previous generation, but I think that was the longest generation. The 360.
The Switch was really this time. That's that console generation.
Let's see, Xbox 360 release. So November 22nd, 2005, and then Xbox One release 2013. So yeah, all 8 years between those.
I remember at Fan Expo one year. This was like one of the last years I ended up going. But I got so close to deciding to go through with it. But there was like a a booth that was selling retro consoles, and like being pretty loose on what retro is. This was up to like, I think it was up to about Xbox 360. By that time, it was like anything that is like several years old and not officially sold anymore. And like they would refurbish it, especially if it was a popular console at the time and popular to bring back and refurbish. And because they're like, hey, we cannot carry, like, we don't have the budget to carry all of this shit back to where, like, whatever shop we came from Fan Expo. So I got so close to going on an hour-long train ride out of the city with a $30 fully refurbished Xbox 360 in my lap. The only reason I didn't is because that shit's way heavier than you think it is if you've never carried an Xbox 360.
Yeah, consoles were crazy.
Yeah, it's like, however heavy you think it is, give it another like 10 to 20% heavier.
Because the Xbox 360 was made out of bullshit.
But yeah, so I very nearly walked out of there with that and a complete copy of with DLC. Well, no, with with a handful of like the expansion packs, I mean, of Lego Dimensions, which was the sole reason I really wanted one. That was really it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it would have added up to about... It's very me coded. I'll give you that. I think the total would have come out to like roughly $45 for the entire package. 30 for the Xbox, 15 for the copy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fucking good of a deal.
It's an incredible deal if you can get it home.
Yeah.
Like, I just really couldn't, especially because I probably also had some kind of overpriced Rick and Morty box on my lap. Yeah.
Rick and Morty or Xbox? I know what I'm choosing.
As an edgy 17-year-old, what do you think I'm gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I have the nostalgia for the 360, so I know what I'm choosing. Easy. But
I still have my Mr. Meeseeks shirt, and it's still a pretty good shirt. Yeah, I just would
It's very
probably
brave
only
of
wear
you
it
to
in.
say in a
I
public forum.
I probably only. I think I only want to wear it inside out though nowadays because I don't want someone to go, "Yo, Rick and Morty," when looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my favorite flavor.
Yeah, fucking gaming consoles. Love them.
Cool shit.
So yeah,
Yeah.
in other news, a
Which one
different
do you want to get
medium.
onto first? Yeah.
So I have watched. Yeah, to hold on to something. You're gonna faint. I've watched 2 movies.
What?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
watched 2 movies.
I expected to only hear what I've heard before for a second here. What?
Well, you know that I have watched How to Train Your Dragon remake.
Oh, okay. You're mentioning that too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was. I watched that, and then like 2 days later, I went and watched Superman. Um, so yeah, movies are nice. I'm probably gonna end up getting that. I wish it weren't near impossible to find that part. I need to fix my PS3. Look, I'm gonna look into fixing that PS3 because you have the good PS3.
Is there not an like iFixit kit for this shit?
Well, it needs a part.
Right. I didn't think that through. Continue, please.
So yeah, we watched How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, 3. I don't remember. I guess we watched it. We watched it Wednesday, and then yeah, we watched it Wednesday because our stream was later than it would have otherwise been. We watched it Wednesday, and then Sunday, I watched Superman. And so first, How to Train Your Dragon. Very much enjoyed How to Train Your Dragon. I never watched the original, and for I've been on my feeds on social media. I've been getting more clips from the original trilogy.
As good as I'm sure the live action one is, I'm like more than 90% sure that you will find the animated version to be at least a moderate step up from that. It is a beautiful, wonderful movie, and also a slightly better soundtrack. It is my favorite soundtrack. You
know. I don't like Hiccup's voice in the clips that I've seen of the original, and it might genuinely ruin it for me.
Just like you're not supposed to think he sounds like the most appealing character in terms of his raw sound, but like it's an underdog story. He's a squirmy little guy.
Yeah, but I can't stand his voice.
You just don't like Jay Baruchel, and I think you're very willing to admit that.
Bless you.
Shut the fuck up. It's not even my name, and I'm not gonna stamp it out.
I don't know who. I will watch them with you at some point, Liz. We have to get a proper movie watching area finished first.
If it was just me pushing you into it, I promise you, for a new viewer who is not who is not already hook, line, and sinker in this, I would not obligate 2 and 3 on you. I don't think they're strictly necessary. Very, very nice, not strictly necessary. But that first one is, I think, unmissable, like, modern cinema history. Whether or not you give a shit about the music, but very much especially if you give a shit about the music. Yeah.
Look, I know there's so many movies you want to show me. You have to watch Star Trek, at least some first. Anyway.
You haven't seen any Star Trek, Liz? Come on.
I think like one episode we put on.
Okay.
And not of the series that I want to show her.
There is no nerdy life that is complete without at least a good season or 2 of The Next Generation hocked into your noggin. There's no way you can die before that. Okay, Steve, you can have your opinions, but I want Ashley to watch the full trilogy. It's a good idea, but I am not going to say Ashley has to watch 2 and 3 if you haven't seen at least a full season of TNG.
I have not shown you several episodes.
There's no way.
Okay, wait. Let me try to think.
If it's
I've
Deep
shown
Space
you
Nine,
one episode of Deep Space Nine, but not the first episode, just one I think you would like. And then I think we watched like with the others one episode of The Next Generation.
You don't have to watch the original series. You don't have to watch Deep Space Nine yet. You don't have to watch. I think it's a toss-up for like a new viewer between Strange New Worlds and The Next Generation. Do you think you could agree with me on that one?
I think Liz would have a better time with Strange New Worlds because it's shorter.
And it's also more modern for those who care about the
But I think she would enjoy if she were able to sit down and watch a full season of the Next Generation. She would like it more than Strange New Worlds.
Right. Also, just from an objective standpoint, Strange New Worlds is in fact notably sexier in terms of cast. Yeah.
I'm surprised you say that when we get so much shirtless Picard.
Okay. Picard is one of those people where, like, he's like Nathan Fillion. I don't think he's hot. He just looks really cool.
We have fucking Riker. Hold up. We have Riker. We have Data.
I'm sorry. You have picked 3 men on that show that I don't think are that like
You're
sexually
crazy.
attractive. Listen. Okay, so there is like I'm like if I put in front of you an array of women that you look nice in any way, I am sure you could pick out a bunch of them that you think are hot, like suggestively hot, and then ones that you're like, oh, this person I don't think about fucking. I don't think that's appealing to me, but like this person looks really goddamn cool. Like cool and hot in my eye are distinctly different things that can coexist but do not always. And
First of all, you underestimate the extent of
Your
how much I love women.
But like you have picked 3 men that I think are very distinguished, badass, cool ass looking, feeling, and sounding gentlemen. You know, in terms of like if I was around them, but I don't think I think they're dashing. I don't think they're sexually attractive. And I think that Strange New Worlds
I don't think Picard is ever really that sexually attractive. But like Riker is pretty fucking hot. Also, Geordi, minus the episodes that make him a creep.
I will give you Geordi 100% outside of the episodes that make him a creep.
And to be honest, Worf, he's big, he's strong. I like Worf.
I listen. I like being intimidated. I don't like being fucking scared. There is a hard line.
I don't think you should be scared of Worf. He's a softie.
Really? Do you think he would hear all my and he would give anything other than just a shrug? Do you think he'd want to punch me?
I think he would just not want to. He wouldn't punch you. He wouldn't punch you unless you gave him a full actual like self-defense reason to punch you. He just wouldn't want to talk to you.
That I can get behind. But secondly, okay. I have a feeling I would get passionate about something while I just happen to be standing like a couple feet away from him, and I'd make a grand passionate hand gesture, hit him in the face, and he'd send me through 3 walls. I think this is a very reasonable.
You know what? Yeah, when you do hit people in the face, I can agree with you. They might want to hit you back.
As the security officer, do you think he would understand the difference between me just being?
I think he would catch your hand. That's what I think.
That's a very, very.
And I think he would just look at you like, "Stop fucking around."
And I would agree. I'd give him a look of, I've heard your request, and I could think it is completely valid. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Worf would hurt you, unless you wanted him to.
I don't want him to. I don't want most men to hurt me.
You know, if he really got into it, he might lose himself a little bit. That's the risk you take when fucking a Klingon.
It would be hot to see Data try and like do something intimidating like that. It'd be nicer for it to be like a little out of character.
I think Data would be like, "And you find this pleasurable?"
Like,
and then he would start hitting himself, and you're like, "Data, no, that's not how this works." I need the episode where they teach Data kink. I need it so bad.
Like, really, because Star Trek writers are already horny. I do was somewhere in the writer's room, just like, oh no, we do have to put this on the cutting room floor. But like, you know what? Let's just like take a day to write this on vacation. You know, and it's somewhere. That script is somewhere. Just find it on eBay.
God, yeah, there has to be so much good fan fiction of it.
Mm.
I can just imagine you're just like, no, you can't just hurt yourself for it has to come from like another person. And he's like, will you punch me?
And this is me opening up commissions, by the way. If somebody wants to provide me with a script that I will happily voice for you. If you need a recording of a really good fan fiction you've written about data fucking, yeah. I thought that'd be funnier than it was when it was in my head. That just sounded funnier than it was going out of my mouth. I don't know if you're focused on something else or if you're just like reacting to that non-verbally.
Just, like the amount of just a miscommunication trying to teach data kink would be the best Star Trek episode ever written.
If you want to correct me that Worf would like catch my hand, I think I can correct you that I think Data would like understand a little bit more than you like intuitively a little bit more of like how kink works and why, and gain an understanding of it.
This bitch don't understand nothing. What do you mean?
Maybe I just don't remember him that well. I have rose-colored glasses for
Data. You remember how well he understands being human.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna keep my ignorance, and I'm gonna watch it and have my own headcanon, and you can't do anything about it. Actually.
Things Data is confused about. I just want to see, like, oh no, not like Data, like things Data Star Trek. That's his last name.
Liz says, okay, I might ask Owl their opinions on this, as they love Data. Who doesn't love Data? I want you to point me to one. Just one. And before that, I think you show me two, just the two of us, and at least two with the others. I know that's not a lot, but it's more than Ashley made it sound initially, and I do agree with that, Liz. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Star Trek you can skip.
Wait, Data doesn't understand sex. How is he gonna understand kink?
No, I'm wrong. I just like the whole point I was about to leap on. I was gonna say that
the moment you bring up to Data that some people like pain, he's gonna fucking short circuit for a moment.
I think, well, the point that I was gonna make, and I do not agree with this, is that like I was gonna say, normal like romantic sex, like conventional, is like more layered and more like complicated in terms of its motivations than kink is, and I think that's just literally the opposite way around. Yeah, I tend to oversimplify kink in my head.
I like that. Until I made the joke that his last name is Star Trek, I never really thought that nobody like ever refers to him by a full name, because he talks about his creator like a father, and so you would think he would take the last name.
What's the creator's name? I forget his creator's name.
It's Dr. Sung.
Data Sung sounds like a badass name.
Yeah, but he never fucking uses it. He always like, oh, I'm Data, I'm a Sung type android.
Well, that feels like it's just, you know, if you want to call like the kind of android that Data is a species, then excuse me, I would be tempted to. Then that sounds like it kind of just be like common practice for that culture of being a robot, you know, that he is of the Sung species instead of saying the last name.
But he wants so desperately to be a human.
Yeah, well,
it would make sense to take up the human culture part of it. I mean, he also is designed to be as close to human as can be, without emotions.
I think you would agree with me that being human does not inherently require the concept of assimilation. I think that as long as he has I
agree with you with these ideas. Data, especially at the beginning of the series, does not agree with you.
Okay, well, because conceptually, I'm saying, like, I think as long as you put these together in some kind of way that resembles conventional ways of referring to someone's identity, then, like, you can grasp the concept of a cultural variation on that, and you don't need to get, like, literally the structure of first name, last name, especially with how many cultures have those the other way around. Like, it might be Sung Data, depending on which one he wants to go with.
Well, yeah, but
Um,
what I'm
yeah,
saying is a robot that wants so desperately to be like everybody else.
fair.
At least at the beginning of the series, because later on he definitely is like, no, I'm different. I want to explore more humanity because I did come from humanity, but I don't need to be human. That's kind of where he ends up. Actually ends up dying 3 times, but that's a different thing.
God, now I want to hear all of Owl's opinions on Data. Liz is going off about Owl Love and Data in the chat.
Oh yeah, it's because they're both autistic.
Autistic people love autistic characters. We hang into as many as we can.
Who could have guessed?
I just got another autistic series I got into recently. Just a little bit off topic. It's still very much in sci-fi, but more of a heavy-handed comedy. For those who like Alan Tudyk, Resident Alien, I think it just came out with season 4 recently. I'm only on season 2, but it's a very good show. Perfect, no, but I quite like most of it. Yeah, it's about this alien, like, it's the basic premise of, like, an alien comes to the planet and, like, has to assimilate as a human being and be convincing as that to the people around them. It is not always, like, great at it, but it gets so much more complicated than that, and in really fun and creative ways. Oh yeah, absolutely, Liz. This is not what we set out to talk about so far. When do you want to move on? If you do,
I just saw a Reddit post because I just like looked up if Kink ever really comes up to date because I don't remember every episode. But somebody just put,
you are so brave with.
But did Data just have sex? So I've started to watch Next Generation, and in one episode there was a disease going around the Enterprise that made everyone act all weird. This one lady came onto Data, and they went into a room. I found this pretty disturbing because he's a robot. First of all, he's not a robot. He's an android. And it is canonicized that he has the parts and the ability. He just doesn't get it.
Why did Dr. Sung put in a penis? I want you to
because
specifically
Data isn't the first android of his kind. His brother Lore is, and Lore has emotions and can feel all those things. Lore just ran away, so he made Data and was like, we're gonna get rid of those fucking emotions because they make him run away.
Well, hold on. Robot versus android difference. Hold on. Because I keep mixing up android versus cyborg is the problem. There's a difference between droid versus android. Kiss my ass, grammarist. No, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not entertaining that.
An android is a fully functioning like machine person, and a droid is your shitty phone.
It's the other way around, I would think, because I literally have an android. But no, no, but what is what is the down to the needles difference between like the concept of a cyborg versus an android versus a robot?
So the easiest distinction to make is cyborg versus any of the other ones. Cyborg, there's actual person in there. That's the big difference. There's parts of actual person in a cyborg. Android versus robot. Robot is they're both completely machine. There is no original person there. Android usually has some sort of synthetic flesh going on. They look more human than a robot. And
they're a humanoid robot.
No, because a humanoid robot is like Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like a humanoid robot is like the robots in Superman. Those are not androids. Those are
Yeah.
humanoid robots, especially when they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just following orders. Even though they clearly aren't, they definitely have emotion,
Ashley,
it's freaky that they all die after establishing that they can feel things.
also, it's I just want to I want to give the slight request that in such a beautifully woke movie you don't give to such a wonderful character the concept of just following orders. I'm
Well,
gonna request that on a personal level.
they were. Humanoid robot,
Humanoid
I
robot,
think
yeah.
C3PO, yep. Whereas an android is like, I'm trying to think of other ones you would know from media.
Like ones that you basically like wouldn't necessarily be able to tell are synthetic if you didn't
Yeah.
know. Okay.
They have a much more actual human quality to them than a robot does.
Right. So like someone who has to reveal that they a synthetic creature, I see.
Yeah. Like if you don't know it going in, because there's many times Data is confused for just some weird sentient being that a person's never seen before that isn't synthetic. And there's like, oh yeah, no, I'm a robot. That's why you can't read my mind.
Wait, hold on. I got a hot take here that might fall apart on the first line of questioning. I just think it's really funny to beg the question. Is are the so it's like I don't think we're exclusively qualifying successfully like realistic resembling synthetic creatures as androids. I think we can have a shitty android. Are we gonna count the animatronics in the Hall of Presidents or something as android?
Well, no, because another part of Android is that it's like semi-sentient at least.
Sure, fair. And God hopes not. With the Hall of Presidents. God, the amount of narcissism. Anyway, I think it's a really funny thought.
But yeah, so yes, Data has a dick. Yes, it works.
This is the place where you first find that out. I'm very sorry.
He just doesn't like he programmadly knows what to do with it, but he doesn't really get it.
Like you don't have to
get it. Very instinctual fucking Data does.
Do you think he has to like do you think he has to vent out by jerking off every so often to like clear out the shit?
I'm trying to think, does he come?
Does Data come?
Does Data come?
Oh god. Wait, hold on. So I can think of a reason that Data might at least piss, if not come. Because we all know to maintain any kind of moving mechanical machinery, you do have to have certain fluids that, as part of maintenance, you have to you have to flush out certain fluid and put in new ones, or at very least put in new ones as the old one wears away. So there's like a at least greater than zero chance that Data has to excrete some kind of fluid somewhere, whether he cries it out, pisses it out, comes it out, diarrhea, whatever you want to go, whatever your lore is, pun intended fully.
I feel like there has to be an episode where they go over what happens with the things that he drinks and eats at times.
Wait, he might spit it out. What am I talking about? That's also possible. Spit is in the question. He spits antifreeze. God.
Does Data poop? Maybe that'll give me more hits. It does. Someone on Reddit,
what
does Data poop? This question is important for my fanfic. I don't want to know. I just need to know if he does or not.
I'm trying to think like what, because I can think of fluids that he would have to like remove from his body for one reason or another. I can't think of solids outside of like maybe oxidized
bacteria. Casually drinks and eats things to fit in.
Oh, so like his stomach doesn't have like an exit port through to the rest of a digestive system. It's more like just a vessel where then like basically, I mean, this gets to like a kind of dark parallel on with certain mental health conditions, but that basically, because he doesn't actually digest, he just socially eats, he probably flushes it back up by like puking, or I don't know, they could come up with some other orifice. Belly button, sure.
Apparently, Data is asked this in an episode, but the answer is cut off when he starts talking about internal compaction. So, we don't know, but I mean, obviously he has to get rid of things that enter him at some point.
Like, I think it's conceivable to think of such a futuristic tech world as Star Trek, especially in the Next Generation, as having a way that he could convert a certain amount of what enters his body into fuel, like Mr. Fusion style. But of course, yeah, he has to get rid of something somehow. But it might be like spitting out a sunflower seed.
Maybe.
I'd love that.
Do you think when he, like, if he sits down to poop, he calls it a download?
Why a download? A download
Because
is
it's going
explicitly
down.
intake. I know the direction, Ashley. I get that part, but this, like, a download is explicitly intake. I don't think
downloads it to the toilet.
No, the toilet is downloading in that case. He is expelling. I think he would make that distinction.
But it'd be funnier. Riker would call it downloading. And that's why I like Riker better.
Yeah. I will fully concede that he would call it downloading, but I do not like Riker better. I think he's fine. I don't think he's anywhere near as cool as Data.
You know, we can all have our wrong opinions.
I think that, like, Data and Picard, like, next to each other, hold, like, at least triple the charisma of one Riker.
That's crazy for one of them not having charisma.
I mean, he's got that neurodivergent riz. Yeah.
You know, I think neurodivergent riz is very separate from actual charisma.
I'm going... If you get to call Data shitting downloading, I get to call it riz. I'm sorry on that one.
Call it riz, not charisma. You know, they're different. They are different words for a reason.
I am going to loop them in together. You can't stop me. This is my podcast too.
You know what? Maybe not for long.
You threaten that every time I disagree with you.
It's because I'm a dictator here, and it is my podcast.
Right. The woke dictator.
I bought the mic arm.
Right. That has been the sole arbiter of this entire show. That has been the directing force as the compass.
Yeah, I can just mute.
She can't. Yeah, she could have this whole time.
It's
by accident.
Show. Yeah, actually, no one's been able to hear you this entire time. That'd be crazy.
You have, like, I remember the first, like, 20 minutes of the gaming variety last week. You accidentally had me muted.
I have no clue why you were muted still.
It's whatever. But yeah. If you wouldn't mind me veering way off topic, are you...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I actually am now really interested in getting into the journal thing, because I have tried, just for any listeners, this is tremendously off topic, but I have tried so many different ways to situate a journal that feels right over the years, and very rarely does it, and I finally figured out a formula to where it does. I have in a little document what I call a three column journal, because literally it's 3 columns, and basically, like, do you get into any journaling, Ashley?
Not really.
Well, I think it's a good idea for just like for developing and formulating your thoughts and giving yourself space to feel, good and difficult things. But yeah, so the first column is the date and time, of course, but also, like, just a general, as far as you can remember, list of things you did in that day leading up to the entry. The middle column is the word vomit that is commonly associated with journals, and the last column is anything you're feeling in the moment. And you could put as many things as necessary in there. Because I tried the How We Feel app a while ago, and you can only check in, like, one emotion at a time, that you can do like as many as you want in one go, but it takes a while to get through the next one. And so this is something that's worked out well for me. So I excuse me, if you're like, because if you're not feeling in the mood to word vomit yet, but you just know how you're feeling and you want to express it, you could just go around to one of the other columns. You could just wait until you already got your brain rolling, or you can start in the word vomit one if you desperately want to talk about something, and then you could do the rest of them some other way. And so it's like, it's less of a, if you don't have anything that you feel like you like know how to put down but you still want to use it, then you don't have to go just one way, or you're not writing in your journal anymore. You get to just forget. It's just like a whole thing, and it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. And I'm really proud of that, and I highly recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
tried journaling many times and I can never stick with it. I'm just like, eh. Every time
Yeah.
that it like comes up to do it, I'm just like, meh,
Yeah.
eh.
It's like, you want to feel like you're in the mood to do it, but the whole purpose of a journal is to match the mood that you're currently in and to reflect what it is you're feeling at that current time. Basically, talking to someone about it if you like just aren't quite ready to bring it to anybody else, or if you want to formulate it first, or for whatever reason you just want it in your own space, but to develop outside of just yourself still. um yeah, Liz says, which I really do love Dalio because I can add pictures and keep
It's
track of a lot of
Dalio.
things. Dalio, thank you. I was especially It was especially helpful for tracking my migraine days. Good shit. Though I as much as like mine is taking place on like a cloud office service, I am hesitant to use images in journals because images take up a whole lot more space than just text. And frankly, I think in describing whatever something looks like might actually help me to get the ball rolling for talking about the rest of what I'm thinking and feeling if it's difficult. But if that works for you, please keep going. Yeah.
No, every now and then, um, so there's a journal app on iPhone,
Sure.
made by Apple. And so every now and then, like, you'll go somewhere different than you normally do in a day, and it'll be like, hey, do you want to write a quick thing about you went to fucking whatever restaurant, or oh,
Mhm.
you went to the movie theater or whatever? And I see them and I'm just like, no. And so swipe the notification away.
That makes sense. Yeah, if that's not something you want. I guess like
I
journaling
should just
isn't
start
perfect for.
going in and saving whatever it suggested, just to have like a record. But
Like, I think something people don't keep in mind enough, though, as well, is you don't need to, like, day 37, 3 paragraphs in, I'm talking about, how, like, my marriage is falling apart, or how it's like, today was so beautiful, and I'm gonna go into, like, a whole novel as to why. Like,
I'd hope you have at least
uh,
3 paragraphs about how your marriage is falling apart.
right. That might
That's
have
a
been why the
daily
marriage was
occurrence.
falling apart. But, I that's for every single day. No, but I like, if someone just wants to put like, I don't know, a 5 word sentence in there that just like, as far as they personally feel like, captures how they're feeling, what they're thinking, as far as they feel like putting in the work to put it, like, it can be simple, if it works for you. Yeah, it doesn't have to be conventional. Like, it doesn't have to be like a novel. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to do more. I used to use the Dailyo app actually as well. Um, I think I started using it. Oh God, that was back when I actually had therapy. So this was 2017. And I was like, "Oh, this is good because I don't have to actually write something. I just like click a button of like this is this amount of sad face."
The How We Feel app is similar to that. It's just, it's not like, the structure would work so much better if you got to check in like a in bulk, like a bunch of emotions at once. I would use the fuck out of it then. But I don't think it works as well in its current state. But apparently that's not a popular opinion with most of its user base. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah. So anyway, with the movies, I didn't even get to what I actually want to talk about because we just started talking about Star Trek. Because I could literally go forever on Star
Yeah.
Trek. But especially Strange New World season 3 is soon.
Is it when?
Strange New World season 3. Tomorrow.
Oh fuck! I haven't even finished season 2. I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped watching. I forgot to come back.
Same. I need to finish
I
it.
love how I made it. I made it through. Have you gotten to the musical episode? I still haven't.
I think I literally just like started the first episode and never actually finished it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love how, by the way, I got through a full season and a half of Resident Alien in between trying to finish season 2 of Strange New World. Strange New World is still really good. I just didn't get back to it. It just happened, okay?
But anyway, so Superman came out.
Yes.
The actual proper beginning of the DCU.
Fuck yeah.
And I don't think it could have a better start than how it started. I think it nails exactly what makes Superman Superman. I think the writing was fucking off the charts. Is it the argument between? There's gonna be spoilers. The argument between Lois Lane and Clark when they were like doing the interview in quotation marks. That was fucking really good writing.
It was really good, though.
Somebody on Blue Sky put out they posted saying, oh yeah, when I was watching I was like, damn, this feels like somebody wrote it who's been through a divorce. And then there's
God.
like, oh, Google, oh, sorry to hear about your divorce, James Gunn.
Yeah. But no, I loved the vast majority of this movie. Though something I actually, because we talked about this off air before, but something I haven't actually told you that was a problem I had, I kept forgetting to mention it, is do you feel like he flew off the handle a little too easily? Because I feel like part of the special quality of like the Christopher Reeve one that he keeps getting compared to and is quite close to in most other regards, in quality, like I don't think he would get so close to blowing up at people the way he did a couple times in the movie.
I think he feels like a real man getting frustrated that he thinks he did the best thing that he could and everyone's hating him for it.
Yeah.
And then especially coming home to the one person he trusts enough with his identity that isn't another superhero. And getting shit again. I think it's perfectly in line with his character to be like, come on, leave me alone.
I think that it's perfectly great as like a character point. It's just that's when it started to feel less like I feel like this is Superman. But the whole rest of the movie, it felt exactly like he was the right person for this era to play Superman. I was at first as well skeptical about Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. He felt a little young to me when he was first cast. Watching it, oh god. Yeah, he is a perfect Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the way that I view the blow up of Superman during that interview is Superman isn't the perfect man, but he is a perfect man, if that makes any kind of sense.
I kind of get you.
It's where like he is the example of a person trying to do their best, but obviously gets overwhelmed.
I am curious with a little bit more of like an on the nose situation of like this was a blow up. When he confronted Lex about his dog and he just straight up screamed at the dude. Like,
first of all, did you feel it's not his dog. Second of all, it is the best reaction that I think anyone could have had. Is just go straight up to him and be like, "Where's the fucking dog? Give me my goddamn dog." Okay. Oh, that was perfect. See, you don't get it because you hate dogs.
I don't hate dogs. I just don't like them very much.
I think if he had any less of a reaction, it would feel weird to every person watching.
Yeah, I can accept that for wider audiences.
I think that if there's anything just about every person watching this film would agree on, is you do anything to get that dog back.
Well, yeah, but like it's also I think if I was thinking of how to react to a situation where dog gone, assuming I don't have my own stipulations against dogs, you know, I I would think, oh, what would Superman do in this situation, confronting the person who stole his dog? Would he blow up at them like, where's the fucking dog? Without the word fucking as well. Uh, then, oh, of course he wouldn't approach it like that. He's Superman, though he would be very pissed. I agree.
I think you need to read more Superman comics. That's my takeaway.
I feel like that with that lead up to reading Superman comics, which I did recently start doing again, and I do love them. I feel like if there's anything that I find that is going to make me feel more normal, I think I'm going to be disappointed by that. Because it just doesn't feel like
they do like taking a dog right before killing a person, you know, so some people worse than killing a person.
I think this is just where we're going to agree to disagree. I see the point you're making though. It's just in the way that he approached it didn't feel so, like it felt like an apt character choice just as a character. It didn't feel Superman.
How is Superman supposed to react to getting a piece of his family stolen?
Let me think.
Yeah, also what Liz just said, it's not even his pet, it's someone else's pet that he was put in charge of to keep safe.
Yeah, it's like I have a difficult time thinking of what I would think is more appropriate. It's just that is where I'm like, oh, right, this is okay. Well, yeah, this is Superman, but like it's just I can't get away from that.
Dog is like next to someone taking a child.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to chew on this one a while longer. But I in terms of like this, on-air recording, I have started out with my criticisms, and I don't like that as much. That's on me. But no, this is a basically perfect Superman movie. I'm really just picking out only the parts that I had problems with. For everything else, this has been a stark relief. This has been, oh, thank God DC gets a much better shot in the modern era than Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
That's really most of how I feel about it.
I think it has immediately built back all of the trust that has been lost over the last decade.
Yeah. And I love that James Gunn and Zack Snyder are still like friends. He was, for those who don't, Zack Snyder was like one of the main people that James Gunn consulted as to whether or not to give him the shorts, the underpants, the red piece. And like he's like, do you have any idea how I might be able to do this? Because I do want to put this in. And he's like, listen, I tried so many different ways, and all of them looked too goofy to me. But yeah, eventually, yes, they did get to putting in the shorts. But yeah, no, they're like super tight, and so like all the best of both worlds can come into James Gunn's interpretation.
Yeah, and of course, everyone looked too goofy for fucking Snyder.
Right. It's like it's like a.
I don't want to shit on anybody, but like Snyder, what the fuck, man? What was going on?
Though, the one little piece of credit that I will give to Zack Snyder on that is that he did still somehow, in his tone, manage to be still flashier and more comic booky than the just straight black leather of the original X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Despite how much I love those as characters, good God, Bryan Singer dropped the ball on that one. But as a movie, I love it. Yeah, no, Superman's perfect.
Yeah, it's very, very good at showing that they get it now. That this team understands, at the very least, what Superman's about. Most of what Guy Gardner's about, but that's not difficult. He's just a dick. And the other heroes, I don't know Mr. Terrific as well. From what I do know of him, looks like they kind of got him. And I don't really know Hot Girl too well. She was barely also in the movie, so.
Yeah. Something that I was especially in love with about this movie that that this movie did actually more of, and in a very, very good way, than that original Christopher Reeve film. That might be wrong. I might be remembering it incorrectly. But no, this is just a really good thing, this movie. Focusing on like how much he gives hope and inspiration to children. Like, because in this like in this still, like, you know, targeted for adults as well, you know, people of all ages, Superman story that's like not like, oh, this is just a kids movie, but this is for everyone. It's still focusing on, oh yeah, there is a very special and important place the characters like this hold in the hearts of like children from no matter what kind of position they're coming from, whether they're in the most war-torn area of the world where like they're really scrounging for some sense of hope, or whether it's, you know, some little girl in the city that you have no idea how good or bad of a position she's coming from, but everybody deserves this icon, you know, for their entire lives. And just this, yeah, I love, one of my favorite things about a Superman story or any superhero story is getting to see a little kid look up at them and give them those glowing pure eyes of, you know, of optimism and of like, oh, thank God, so many things are threatening to me as a little child. This guy is gonna give me some unwavering, you know, respect and protection just because it's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think the moments that really prove that they understand what Superman's about is when he says maybe caring about people is punk rock. They got that real good. That's a great line.
That was almost too
Um,
cheesy, but I love it
that's the
so
real
much.
punk
Yeah.
rock. Look, it's
Yeah.
a Superman movie. It's a comic book movie. Get a little camp.
No, I said very important word here. Almost. This is
Look,
you know
I
that I love
think
me a good yell.
they could go further, and I would still fucking love it. But
What would
that
you have put? That
moment,
would be more.
I don't know
that
what I
be
would
more
do.
good.
I'm not writing the perfect Superman. Anyway, that's not my job. Um, but that line, the scene where he even goes out of his way to save the squirrel.
Yeah.
I think that really
I didn't expect
shows
that.
that they really do that. It's those moments that, like, I know we had this conversation. I'm not going to delve into it a lot, but I think those moments are what differentiates a lot of how I think about how Superman has tackled the issue of collateral damage of these fights versus the MCU has traditionally done it.
Yeah, it is a weak point for the MCU.
I say, I love finding out that people have walked out of the movie because they don't actually know what Superman really stands for. Yeah.
Yeah, literally the first thing.
I called my mother after I watched it, and she said one of her friends' mother posted that she walked out 45 minutes and that it's a bad film. And I'm like, they have bad political beliefs.
It's just like,
It's-
what I want to know from these people, what did you come in and think you would say? Like, what is the Superman in your mind that
I can't
somehow
even
thought you
fathom
paid for?
like going into it and it just like not being your kind of film. It's just either it's like too campy for you, or just like you were expecting more like the Snyder films, and so you're just not into this style. I can get that, but saying it's a bad film is crazy to me.
Yeah, so I will give something that like staunchly surprised me about this movie. Maybe I'm using the word staunchly wrong, but you'll get it in a second. Is that, and this is another point I brought up to you in private, I just think it's worth reiterating here. Like, a main criticism I had for, this is a weird shoot back, but for the Tom Cruise Mummy movie is, oh, they focus too much on establishing a universe and not enough on making a plot. This movie tries to do so much more to set up a grand cinematic universe than even that did. Like, at least double, I think. And it still holds like a really like core, intimate, emotional note. And it's like, I did not, if you had proposed the idea of all this happening in the same movie and it's still working, I would have said highly unlikely. I would have said it takes an expert filmmaker, which kind of, I mean, that is exactly who. But no, this managed to be a beautiful movie that perfectly sets up this universe that is as crowded as it is and still works and is cohesive. And also, I did not hate Guy Gardner nearly as much as I thought I would. Like, he's not as much of a straight asshole as I was really expecting, based on reception from fans about the character descriptions.
Oh yeah, no, he's way worse in the comics than he was in this show.
Deviate
so
as much as you want if it's like this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Guy Gardner, like, he's not a Green Lantern because he's like a hero. I don't even like. I don't think in the continuity he wasn't even meant to be a Green Lantern. He's like a separate universe type what if scenario that just stuck around.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, because I think if the alien that died, I forget the name, landed in a different location that was closer to Guy Gardner, it would have gone to Guy Gardner, but he wasn't closer, and that's the like explanation of why Guy Gardner wasn't he's like backup Green Lantern for if anything ever happened to Hal Jordan.
So, do you know the reason as to like why he was specifically the backup?
He just has a lot of willpower.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Remember, none of the Lantern Corps has come to you because you're good for their mission. They come to you because you have a specific trait.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Except for the Black Lanterns, I think they kind of choose people who are very good for their mission. Granted,
yeah,
I don't
put Nathan Fillion in more movies.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't go into fucking DC lore.
That's fine. We'll get into it at some point. But yeah, like put Nathan Fillion in more movies. Yeah, no, I just something I want to hear if you have any like conceivable opinion on this. Do you like, how do you feel about how like slightly bulky the fabric of the suit feels? Do you give a shit at all? I really like it personally.
It's a good suit, and that's all I ever thought about it.
Because I know because people have taken issues over time with like if it feels like the fabric is like noticeably thicker than with most like of these like skin tight form-fitting superhero uniforms.
Let me pull
and there's also the phenomenon of the quote Marvel lines, which I don't know how term, but it's one I've heard before, where it's like just got a whole bunch of lines and grooves into it to like break up the shapes. And I love this suit because it feels like a suit and it doesn't feel like his skin, but I'm like there's a collar, and I love that they kept the underpants. And yeah, to me it's a wonderful, wonderful suit, but I do think if you care about costume design, I could see it being polarizing.
I think it looks great. I think he would just be hot, wearing it. He'd just be a little warm all the time.
Do you think it manages to breathe? Do you think
that's
air
what
makes
I'm saying?
Much of that? Yeah.
It's just like he takes it off and it's like a sauna coming off of him.
It makes like a kind of sound.
I really like this idea that Superman can do everything except for regulate his body temperature at will.
This is fucking amazing. Secondly, I think I think this is, I know this is not because he's hot, but this is like one of the only Superman continuities where I'm like, no, I do want to see what it looks like when he takes that shit up. I want to see if it feels like from the neck down a mascot costume. I want to see if he's just like fighting for his life getting out of that thing. It's so thick, but it is beautiful. But yeah, I agree they could have gone into even more found funding for a blockbuster with that, Liz. But I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, I think I want them to go more into it, but I think for what they did, they went really far. for
Yeah,
being a huge blockbuster film.
I I do straight up think that if this was not like a flagship like DC Universe sorry, DC Studios movie introducing that and like straying a little further away from Warner Bros Productions, like you said, they only in private they only handled these. um I I think if they were more in Warner Brothers' hands, they would not have gotten through as many phases of the script with all that political messaging. And I think it was to their benefit. I think inherently people like to avoid this, and I don't need to tell you this, but these characters, just comic book characters in general, have literally always been political because politics covers things that are important to us, and superheroes like put a spotlight of so much of what is important to us in life as people as to
If
why we feel we need
this
to be saved.
if this
Yeah.
was a comic releasing back, like if this was the world's introduction to Superman as a
Hmm.
character and it was his first comic again, they would have said it's Israel and Palestine. They wouldn't have made fake
Hmm.
lands for that. So I think like it's as good as we were gonna get, politically speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great movie, and I cannot wait to see it again. I can't wait to. This is like a, especially with how much it feels like a really well built sequel where it just hits the ground running. I Yeah, this is like definitely one that, well, like with most superhero films, like even with most blockbusters especially, there's a good solid point where it takes a while to get into anything really juicy, and then in the second and third act it hits a good climax, which is a decent structure. But with a movie like this, it's not just, oh, I sit down and watch this and it's a developed layered plot that keeps me thinking and I love what it says to me, but also like you could throw this on a TV in the background and it'll look fucking gorgeous just in that context.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this
There's
is a beautiful,
very
beautiful movie.
rarely a dull looking scene.
Yeah. I love. Oh, and they really know how to shoot Superman flying, whether he's doing it through
Yes.
those icy lands with the God. I keep think every time I think about this movie, I think of the shot where was he coming out of the ground or was he like this is in the trailer, it's not that much of a spoiler. He is I think he's like the camera is doing like a quick pan over and at the same time he's swooping past it, like getting closer and farther away. Like it's I'll try and find the scene and put it in the Ashleyverse server, a clip of it later, but you'll know the shot I'm talking about when you see it. This is one of the best kinds of Superman shots, and I love it. Love it,
I
love it.
love when the trailers first came out and we saw him flying through the Arctic or the Antarctic. Um and he like takes that little detour to go through a little ice pillar, and everyone was just like, that's so stupid, why would he do that? It's like, it's called having fun, bitch. Like, he was
Like,
having fun.
the reason he doesn't destroy shit is half because he thinks casualties. If there's a strong reason to think that he won't have any casualties, I don't know. That's, yeah, you like you said, he's
Well, no,
probably gonna
he
have some
still
fucking
didn't hit
fun.
anything. He went in between.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Or
said like
there
through
was
it.
like the wall, and then he has
Yeah.
there's like a little pillar of ice, and he just like swoops straight between them.
I would not be mad at though a Superman story where he does just like fucking crunch through like for fun through like
Oh yeah.
an ice glacier if there's no casualties of any animals. Like, you know, I mean, in Superman and Lois when he's training his kids, spoiler alert, he like literally the icy, like the kind of icy landscape in either Antarctica or somewhere else is how he gets them to practice moderating their strength, punching into a massive, vast glacier and not destroying it, and like knowing when to, you know, put in as much force and knowing that you can control it.
Yeah. One of my
Yeah.
favorite fucking tropes of these like insanely powerful beings is when they finally come up against somebody who is as durable as them, and they're like, finally I can go all out, and they just fucking destroy them.
Beat the shit out of them. And
It
you know,
is
this one,
one of my
yeah.
favorite tropes, and it's so dumb, but I love it.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's like it's a contrast to
I
the
think
like
it's dumb for any future problems they ever face. because now you have to go
I
even
think
harder.
if you establish it as a rare thing that they have to that down.
Well, the thing I'm saying is like, oh, they have all this power. They shouldn't be struggling as much with other things that they are shown to struggle with. That's my issue with that trope.
Unless they have a character reason to pull back, like with other threats.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like if Superman could have just picked up that giant monster in the middle of Metropolis and put him somewhere else,
I see what you. Okay.
like,
Okay.
like if
Yeah.
you could, if you just fucking full Nelson them and can just walk them to a jail cell, why are you struggling ever?
I thought you meant more with regards to the spoiler alert to the Bizarro appearance.
Yeah, that is like they didn't really do that trope. I don't think so.
Okay.
Not too much. I don't remember a line where he's like, "Finally, I don't have to hold back." Um, I think if ever Apocalypse comes to town in the Superman universe, I think it would be good to do that trope then, because it's just like, oh yeah, he can take a full fucking punch from Superman and be pretty cool about it. So, but
Ugh.
this is obviously also not the strongest version of Superman.
What is the strongest one that you know of?
Oh well, one, it's Superman Prime, I believe. Um, or no, it's not Superman Prime. Let's see. Superman Prime
Does
is
he
up there.
punch time like the Hulk?
I think he destroys universes,
Oh.
multiverses. Strongest
Sorry,
Superman.
if he is capable of that, did he really need a specifically yellow sun for his powers? Let me ask that.
Let's see. Superman Prime 1,000,000. Let's see what his feats are. Also, I'm gonna copy image. I'm gonna put an image of Superman Prime 1,000,000 if it'll let me. I hit the copy button and it copies nothing.
And is this one of those evil Superman?
You know, I don't remember his story all that well. I don't think he's explicitly evil. Okay, let's see. Attack potency, multiverse level plus.
Plus?
Plus.
What?
Lifting
is plus?
strength, unknown. Striking strength, at least solar system class / multiversal plus. That does sound at least solar system class.
Also, I think it's really funny that I found this image, and I don't want it. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Join the Ashleyverse server for a quick chuckle. It's not
stamina unknown, range unknown.
Yeah.
Apparently, he has the last Green Lantern ring.
Oh.
In the universe.
Does he really need it at this power level?
Let's see. Can I just have a list of his feats? I'd really like to know what he's done.
When I think of Night Fury, I think of How to Train Your Dragon, Liz. I don't know what you're.
Respect Superman 1,000,000 is a Reddit post. Feats creates a localized electromagnetic pulse, can reach into the brain of computers and learn and rewrite the code, uses telepathy to show Superboy visions, hypnotizes a crowd by starting a storm, can't be possessed, apparently. While weakened, calculates several hundred scenarios. At full power, he can calculate several billion simultaneously. Heavily weakened, can still stop a megaton blast with vision, with his force vision.
You know, like I I want someone to react by posing this character when people tend to say like Superman is way too overpowered. It can only be held back with this little green rock. Yeah, what about Superman Prime 1,000,000?
His force vision seals shut the construction holding back Solaris's supernova.
Good God.
Can tell when he's in a time loop and escape it.
Okay, firstly, okay. Liz, good point, by the way, on strength unknown, speed unknown about the Night Fury. Now I understand the parallel. About know that he's in a time loop and escape it. What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it is linked, so let me click on the link. If not for my fifth dimensional super senses, I might not have noticed. It's a panel from the comic.
This is, I'm sorry,
It's just a
just with
matter
this
of linking my
context,
mind to his with super ESP. So not just ESP, super ESP.
with just this level of context, it does kind of feel like this was like written by a 12-year-old boy who doesn't want to lose any game involving creativity. Like this, this is like wishing for more wishes, man. Is what Superman Prime Unlimited, Superman Prime 1,000,000 sounds like.
Also, you remember when you said punch through time?
Okay, go ahead.
Punches the time barrier so hard a woman feels it 2,000 years in the future. Multiple people later feel it many centuries down the road. I'm gonna look at the image they put along with this. The first impact sends a shockwave across the late summer of the year 4070. A young woman named Vita Knight spills her lunch, misses her pod connection, and becomes Doc Midnight 30 seconds later than she should have.
So wait, character-wise, so you're talking about power set. Character-wise, is this still the like charming, like who are you? I'm a friend, like Superman character that we know and love, or is this like
I
just
believe so. Like I said, I've not
okay?
really read through the stories, but I believe so.
I feel like
Um,
he'd reject this level of power if he was that kind of character. Maybe I just don't understand Superman as well as I thought I did.
well, he's also going up against much stronger enemies. So,
That's okay. Right. Okay. Fair.
he's not punching the Joker through time. Like,
wait. Sorry. Very important distinction now that you mentioned that. Did Superman Prime 1,000,000? I keep forgetting like the name specifically because like if thinking Unlimited is in there. Superman Prime 1,000,000. Did he choose to have like such stepped up powers from the original, or was this something that was thrust upon him like the original powers that we know?
I haven't read it. I have no fucking clue what makes him so powerful.
Now I
I
gotta
think
fucking read.
there's probably a point where he just sits inside the sun for a while. That's usually how he gets crazy. So
I see.
I know there is a comic where like the sun is about to explode. It was gonna like collapse, and they're like, "Oh, we need someone in there to like put in all of this material or whatever, and nobody can survive this, and it would take however long of them being in. There was like 15,000 years of constantly doing that, and the Batman saying this, and he just looks over at Superman like, "Well, you're the only one that can do that, buddy." And he's just like, I'll do it. And he goes in there, he does his dip for 15,000 years, comes back to Earth, and Batman's still fucking alive.
How is Batman still fucking alive?
It was some Tibetan monk shit, I bet. I don't know.
Fuck you, Batman. You can't do that. No, I'm sorry. You're supposed to be the human man. No, fuck you. You don't get to be immortal.
His super breath can snuff out a giant star. Destroys something that can resist the gravity of a black hole. Why don't we get more info on what this something is?
After the punching time thing and like the destroying, a lot of this starts to feel like if you first said, "Ooh, he has super powerful heat vision, and also he really knows how to make an origami duck." Well, like it's like none of this could possibly surprise you past a certain point.
Also, I want to say they have done a disservice to the destroy something that can resist the gravity of a black hole. One, it does resist the gravity of a black hole. That is true. He doesn't just destroy it. He says, "I'm gonna disassemble it with my quantum vision." Hold tight.
I'm gonna disassemble it with my pecs, just with my chest muscle.
The dude he's talking to after he destroys sorry, I burped in the middle of that sentence. Says thanks, and he just says no problem.
Also, I don't know if this actually happened, or if this is like just really well-made fan art. But there is this image that I found of Superman Prime 1,000,000 in that fighting game Multiverses, the Warner Brothers one. And if this is real, and I don't feel like verifying it, but if it is, then it's a little bit bold to put that kind of character in any kind of fighting.
Yeah. See,
Period.
what's stronger, Superman Prime 1,000,000 or Looney Tunes? It's a real question.
I really love this. Just like, I mean, so we could go down the road of like the argument of Bugs Bunny being technically the most powerful character in fiction because of his reality bending whatnot with Looney Tunes lot.
Oh my gosh.
You can, you know what, Liz? If you want to become on a very technical level more powerful, most iterations of Superman, I encourage you to look up how to make an origami. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I bet Superman would struggle with origami.
He probably would.
Yeah, I think he wouldn't get it.
Only if he knows how to do it could he do it really fast. But I do not think you just.
I think it would take him a while to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think you just go up to Superman and then like you say, "Hey, can you make me an origami duck?" And he's like, "Oh, give me a second of ultra fast. Give me a second of speed read. Go into the library at light speed." Wait. So, do you think that like someone ever has like an innocuous task that they really like, for some reason there's an obligation for them to complete it, but they do not have the means to get anyone to help them, and so like Superman just really, really fast throughout the day goes, "Oh, you need a much simpler problem solved. Gonna go over to the library, like light speed read through a book," because he does know how to speed read really fast. I don't remember which. That was in like a more recent comic, but he can do that. And so, do you think sometimes he just does innocuous shit at like 1,000,000 miles a minute, like when there's not actively a violent crime going on?
You're just gonna say when no one's looking.
No, it's like works too.
He's just at work and he's just like, I just want to get through this paper.
Just origami all over his office. He starts to become a really big fan of Blade Runner. Yeah. Can he speed watch a movie?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I know he can like see, like he can process things really quickly.
Yeah.
So, are there any characters you're looking forward to see how this version of the DC universe is going to tackle?
I don't think that I have a way of conceptualizing how they would approach anywhere near the level of grit that we expect from a Batman interpretation at this point in a universe like this. And I very much invite an attempt. Funnily enough, don't go back and watch it, but The Flash had like closer to what I would assume of that with the Ben Affleck Batman that they put in there. Yeah, I want to see like a Batman Brave and the Bold blue suit. I want to see just like a bunch of serious characters, how they would approach it in such a bright and colorful world as this. I want to see Martian Manhunter. I want to see, in terms of like fun, like my favorite DC hero outside of Superman is the Flash. I want to see the Flash, even though he's not a super great one. I think he would fit like a glove in this world. Yeah.
I want to know which Flash they're going to go with first, because it seems like they're not just going to go with the biggest name version of these characters so far. Because, I mean, the first Green Lantern we get isn't Hal Jordan, it's Guy Gardner. And honestly, if you weren't going Hal Jordan, you could probably very easily just go... God, I can never remember his fucking name. I'm talking about Green Lanterns right now.
Oh, okay.
Green John Lantern. Stewart? Yeah, you could go John Stewart is like in order of like popularity. Yeah, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and then Guy Gardner. But they went with Guy Gardner first. So I would love to see the Flash be Wally West. Wally West is my favorite Flash.
Sure.
But I think what would be really fun is eventually, I'm sure they're going to, like, one, they're going to be called the Justice League. They're going to change from the Justice Gang, be the Justice League. But I want to see when they eventually talk about the Justice Society of America,
Mm-hmm.
because they have to. Steve's opinion of Young Justice TV show, because while I didn't watch the newest season, I did quite enjoy it as an entry point.
In terms of like, so I've mentioned that I wasn't as much a fan of Marvel animation as a kid. DC animation a little bit more. I remember there was the Justice League animated movie that I liked on DVD. In my younger years, I did not really get into televised cartoon superhero content. Like I watched live action ones like Smallville sometimes. That was really fun for me. But yeah, no, I don't know why, but the cartoons for any superhero most of the time didn't really click for me, including the Justice League focused ones.
Yeah, so you see, you want the Brave and the Bold style blue suit for Batman, and I would like to see that suit probably. Um, I think I would hope for a style of storytelling and narrative, um, out of the animated series, Batman the Animated Series by Bruce Timm.
I am fully on board with that. But
and if I don't see Bruce Timm anywhere near the production of anything Batman for this universe, I'm going to be sorely disappointed.
Something that I don't know if it'd be the most popular opinion, but I would genuinely love to see it. After this, I'm going to pose an opinion that I think would be fun, but I don't think would be actually a good idea. But for this one, I want it. I would like, if they're so cool with doing a return to flashy, classic-looking Superman and everything surrounding him, I want to see a like gothic DC like the Tim Burton one. The characters do not need to be in the same fashion as that, but I do think that is the best cinematic Gotham City we have ever had. The cartoonishly like gothic, like exaggerated, shapes and everything. There was more theming to it, and I want to see that from the Gotham City in this DC universe. Something I think would be a fun idea, but a bad one objectively, is I think of all the DC like blockbuster movie universes we've had so far, the one that you could argue that the Adam West Batman would work best in if you tried would be this one. Well, like, you'd be least out of place in something like this if you wanted to go for like a genuine approach to that. Yeah, that's more of a fan fiction territory, but it would like, I don't know, it'd feel way less out of place than it would obviously the Snyder one, but like even in the Christopher Reeve one. Yeah.
I
Just a
agree
fun
more
idea.
with the Christopher Reeve one.
Okay.
That it would work well there. They were a bit more unserious. Where this one's like,
Anything about a
it's
gothic,
lighthearted
gothic
but
Gotham.
serious in its points. But like, yeah, like I said, I think a Bruce Timm style Batman work really well with this universe, because he's very serious and like it is a bit darker, but also at the end of the day, he does fucking joke around. He fucks around a lot.
Do you think anything about the look of Gotham City itself, though? Because I mentioned gothic Gotham.
I mean, which one did you? I need to look up pictures of the one you're talking about.
So the ones from the Tim Burton movies, I think if you could do a cross between that and the Arkham games, like Arkham City and stuff like that, I think that would work pretty much perfectly for like a flashy and like with lots of visual character other than just being basically Chicago for Gotham City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I want that back.
it makes me really sad that it's not like a whole animated project because I just want Bruce Timm style back.
Yeah. We almost got Batman Beyond like that. Yeah, no, it was Batman.
I mean, Batman Beyond was it's the same.
No, I mean we almost got like a movie that.
Oh yeah, an animated movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, so they had the straight to video movie, Return of the Joker for Batman Beyond. And apparently there were going to be more if that one sold well, and it sold like dog shit. But
Oh.
apparently everyone who was working on it was kind of relieved. Not because they didn't want to stop working on it, but because the next idea would be to look at what happened with Nightwing, and none of the writers liked writing Nightwing.
Oh no.
Nobody liked writing Robin during the entire run of that universe.
Also, I have finally found a shot of like the. I've finally found a shot of that shot that I was talking about before. If we want to shoot back for just a quick
Oh
insta.
yeah.
But yeah, oh, I want to see Nightwing in this universe so bad, so bad.
Yeah, I wonder the way that they have introduced us to this universe does make you wonder, like, where is Batman current, or are we going to see him more so start? Is he going to start with Robin by his side, or is he just going to be Batman?
I remember seeing in an interview that someone asked, "Hey, like they were talking to James Gunn here. They were going, "Hey, how do you think this Superman would react to seeing a man in a bat suit going around like that?" And he said, "Who's to say he hasn't,
Yeah.
a guy in a bat suit who shares vaguely similar altruistic visions for his city?" Yeah. So I think he's keeping it open to the possibility that just as this Superman has already started to be, that Batman has already started to be.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's more of like, where is he in his journey of being Batman? Because if he's just been around a couple of years, that's very early on days for him. And I mean, obviously, I really hope he doesn't fucking kill people. Please,
Yeah.
James Gunn, you can't do this to me again.
Batman ain't kill folks. It just can't have it.
You can't. I mean, I'm sure he won't. We have Superman saving a squirrel. So I have no doubt that Batman is not going to be about killing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
So
one of the. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just saying, I completely forgot to put source images in the server as to the Tim Burton Gotham look, and so I'm gonna put in some ones that I especially enjoy. Oh God, this one's delicious. I don't know how much of it is like this is fan art and how much is actually from the movies, but I'm putting it in anyway because it just looks stellar. Yeah, this would be a perfect look. And I'm also talking to gamers who know the Arkham franchise much better than I do, so I don't even need to put in that. But yeah,
I wonder, like, it is going to be interesting to see how much they're going to cleanify Batman's billionaire status when the first movie of this series is very much anti. But we'll see. I'm just sure they're going to say he gives a lot, but
there is because they're not necessarily specifically shooting for the most popular ones first. I don't think they're going to do this. I'm not even sure that they should do this. But a valid answer to that would be starting with Absolute Batman instead, where he comes from a working class background if they want to stay consistent with the messaging.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are just going to definitely say that he does good things with the money.
Fair. Yeah, I think that'd be just as good an approach as well. But
yeah.
it'd be cool to say
as long as he's like funding
Batman.
Orphanages and shit, you know?
Right.
It's like, okay, we get it. He's a good one.
Half his budget goes to St. Jude. Or whatever equivalent in the DC universe.
But But yeah, I mean, as I've said many times before, DC is my preferred superhero universe. So I'm very glad it's getting its fucking shot in proper blockbuster movie spotlight. Also, I kind of hated the most recent Batman movie, but they almost did a really cool thing, making his inherited wealth coming from corruption. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why someone wouldn't like any of the like more aggressively gritty takes on Batman, like with the Christopher Nolan ones, or even the Matt Reeves one. But I do still hold a soft place in my heart for them. Also, with one of them, Giacchino is part of it. But yeah, we haven't seen enough of, as much as he's like supposed to be a brooding and gritty character in the first place. Like I think we haven't seen enough of a bright attempt at a Batman. I think that there's plenty of room for it that the cinema screen has not taken seriously and represented with like enough of a fair shot. I've been growing to like DC more and more as of recent years. I didn't used to like it nearly as much. Funnily enough, I've also been reading more comics than ever before. Yeah, I still prefer Marvel, but this is a prime, beautiful. I can't wait. I'll follow this for decades to come if necessary.
You know what would be crazier than starting with an absolute Batman for
What's
this
up?
universe? Starting with Terry McGinnis. Batman Beyond.
Does that work in live action?
I think it wouldn't be the same. Obviously, they're not really future. But he would just be the Batman. But maybe they could write it to where like the Bruce Wayne or whoever Batman did start very early on, like in the actual comics, the 60s. And by the time it gets to this modern era, obviously he's a very old man now. And so he's just like, I can't fucking do it anymore. And there's this other cool fucker around. And it's like, it's already a past mantle. They would never do it. That'd be crazy. But God, would it be cool? And it would solve the issue of like, oh, hey, the billionaire isn't the one in the suit.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I still, yeah. God, I'd love to see them befriend Absolute Batman in some way, like both of them in the same world somehow. But I want to defer to Liz for a point that I forgot about. She said, like, my biggest complaint is that they didn't go that route and were like, oh no, that isn't the actual truth. Like, dang, you could have done so much with that. Spoiler alert. Just gonna give a quick second to future listeners. In case you don't want this spoiled yet. Yeah, the messaging from his Kryptonian parents, and I really thought they were going to say it's not true. I thought they were going to say he like falsified it in some way. That would have been really easy to do. It worked really well with the plot, and I was a little disappointed that they didn't do that. But I do think they worked it in really well. But yeah, I don't know. I want to retain my view of his parents, but I don't necessarily have to. But it could have been a really good message about misinformation in the first place. While it's already such a political movie, in this Superman movie,
I think it. Yeah, Liz was talking about the newer Batman, but on the subject while we're here, for Superman, I think it strengthens other messages of the movie of kind of individualism. And like being who you are, not because someone else tells you that is a good thing, but because you know it to be a good thing to be who you are.
Right. Absolutely. Pun intended.
Like it would make the very sweet, heartfelt, almost like tear-worthy conversation with Pa Kent completely irrelevant.
Yeah. No, yeah, okay. You've convinced me on that one.
Yeah, so I don't know about the newer Batman, so I don't know about the oh no, that isn't the actual truth. I don't know what Liz is talking about for this.
Oh, I really thought that was about Superman.
Yeah, Liz says no, I was talking about the newer Batman.
I don't understand either, but I'd love to hear you elaborate.
Is also says I
Huh.
used to really enjoy Marvel, but it got so convoluted and so much that builds so quickly that I just couldn't keep up and have up. So DC has definitely refreshed my enjoyment of the superhero media.
I get that. Like, respectfully disagree, but I do definitely get that. It's gotten to the point where I would not ask someone to start from the beginning anymore. But
I
there are
think
plenty of.
my
I would recommend
sadness
Thunderbolts to people who like mental health centered movies, because that's what Thunderbolts is all about.
my sadness with Marvel is that it has such a good ending. And then it
Hmm.
kept going. And I'm just like, oh well damn. It's just like you ended so well that I'm full. I'm good.
That's one of those cases where I think official canon is a bit of an overrated concept. I don't blame anybody for. I think it's a really good idea if it feeds someone's enjoyment of the franchise to say, "Hey, I dropped out after Endgame, and that's all I think about in terms of my personal perspective on it. That's all I think of as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just everything up to Endgame, and that's it. And I don't consider anything else canon in my personal view. It is just that." I think that's perfectly valid and a very underrated approach. I wouldn't personally agree with it. I do think there's a lot to give to it, because there's stuff like, for instance, Eternals, that is one of the few cases I genuinely agree undermine a lot of the rest of the universe. But yeah, just if you want your headcanons, go ahead and chop off some shit. It really doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it isn't even like about canon. It's just like some people's stories kept going when I was just like, it's fine. You're good.
Okay.
It's like, I get my kind of thought about it is like, you're not gonna make a better ending at this point. You know what I mean?
I think that the only route that I would have thought is a better ending is the one that it really seems like they're heading towards, where I'm like, oh, I don't see how they could get any better. Oh, we're incorporating not only what we've had, but also stuff that we missed out on the entire time being looped in with the same universe, being with all the multiverse secret wars, like bringing in the X-Men and of course the Fantastic Four, literally just coming this month in like less than a few weeks. Yeah, just
Yeah.
having stuff that, like, for dumb lawyery licensing reasons wasn't able to be involved like it should have been from the beginning. And now they get their time in the sun, like the ones that we see in better hands than they were
Yeah.
before.
It's like I said
Yeah,
when we
this is the
weren't
uncharted
on air.
territory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said this when we weren't on air, but like I would enjoy it more now if you don't necessarily need to get rid of the canon that's already happened, but kind of restart things fresh with Fantastic Four. But
Yeah.
maybe I don't know how you would tie in the old stuff without also falling into the pit of like, oh, now you have to make a new ending. But I guess like just kind of leaving most of it behind,
If
starting
it helps.
fresh with, the first family
If
and
it helps,
going from
I
there.
think I think that, as far as I've heard, and this makes sense for a Secret War style storyline, that yeah, they're going into the next, like, they're going into the mutant saga, which I believe is coming next, with a fresh universe that has been reset thanks to Secret Wars and has been started over effectively, because of all the multiverse shenanigans breaking shit. I think that is a perfect approach, so as to not get even more overcomplicated than it already is.
Yeah, like
But I do
having
wish they could
nods
go
to old
further.
things and like some
Yeah,
characters coming back. That's
you get
fine.
to be picky and choosy about it.
But like we don't need more of their stories. We need new stories. That's kind of my view, I guess.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with what we've had. I'm glad that it's being flipped over like a pancake before, like with in less than like 3 to 5 years, it's being flipped over and getting even fresher shake to the, because nobody, like, as much as there's sentimental attachment to the existing X-Men franchise we've had, everybody knows it is like even more convoluted than the more beloved cinematic universes of the MCU and of uh the better loved interpretations of the DC one that we've had over the decades. Uh like X-Men, the X-Men franchise, as much as people do love it, most of it has been a laughingstock for being inconsistent and being tossed around shitty hands. And so, in the same rhythm as going, hey, we're coming back to characters that should have been there the whole time, like Fantastic Four and X-Men, and then actually giving them some prod, and going into the mutant saga and everything. And they probably won't do everything perfectly. I haven't liked everything, but I think they will still make, in majority, things that I enjoy, like they have still not stopped doing so far. Yeah.
I want to know how they're going to do Mr. Mixopiddleick.
I would love it. Let's see it. Go ahead. Shoot your shot. Which one was that? DC or Marvel?
That's DC. Mr. Mixopiddleick is the fifth dimensional imp that fucks with Superman.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to type it in to figure it out for myself, but I'm also like, am I really going to entertain the notion that I spell Mr. Mixopiddleick?
It's actually in a couple different shows where he comes up, he introduces himself, and then says, it's spelled how it sounds.
Fuck you. Fuck yourself. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry.
So it is MXYZPTLK most of the time.
Oh, in DuckDuckGo at least, when I type in Mr. MXY, immediately it knows exactly what
Yeah.
the first result is Mr. Mixopiddleick, and the second result is Mr. Mixopiddleick pronunciation.
Well, that's also most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. Oh, this guy looks awesome.
Yeah, he's just this fifth dimensional imp that just he doesn't want to kill Superman or anything, or even really hurt him most of the time. But he just comes around and fucks with him. Just is annoying. And there's one time he comes up and Superman's definitely not fucking about it. He's already in a bad spot. He's upset and has no fucking patience, and he realizes it and just fucking leaves.
God damn.
He's also kind of a oh god. I can't remember the fucking parallel, but it's to get him to go away, you have to make him say his name backwards.
Fuck you. Go ahead and take that whole concept and shove it up your own ass, Mr. Mixopiddleick.
And then he has to stay gone for 90 days. Asterisk. Everything with him is an asterisk because he started in he's a 60s character. He's very early on in Superman's history.
Oh, was Q inspired by him then? Because it sounds very Q-y.
I think Q is just inspired by all the same things that these kinds of characters are, which is just the idea of a trickster god.
They were probably all inspired by Loki, actually, at some point. You got a really good point there. Yeah.
But yeah, he comes in, has ultimate power over the third dimension because he is from the fifth dimension. And comes in, he just harasses people for a while until he finds out about Superman, and then fixates harder than a motherfucker on Superman. He's always there to fuck with him. And
I found the most AI generated Mr. Mixopiddleick, and I want everybody else to feel this same horror in the Ashleyverse server.
No. Yeah, that's horrible.
That's not great.
That is really terrible.
I'm gonna put in a legit Mr. Mixopiddleick just for contrast.
He was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried in the animated shows.
Would you pick literally any other person? I think the only other way that you could get a really good Mrs. Piddleick, his girlfriend. No, Mr. Mixopiddleick.
Yo, he does have a hot wife.
I'm sure he does. So the only two ways you could get it is either you mix together Danny DeVito and Neil Patrick Harris, or one Martin Short. I would I'm looking at this guy and he's screaming for a Martin Short. Yeah.
So there is one version of him. I forget which live action TV show it was, but he just looked like a normal guy because it's live action. They didn't want to create a monster, trying to make him look like he does in the comics in live action. But apparently, when they originally wanted to get rid of his character, they wanted to like cut from him leaving the third dimension to him appearing in the fifth dimension, animated and voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. And they didn't get to do it, and it's such a travesty.
When you said animated and voiced by Gilbert Gottfried,
It's just animated by Gilbert Gottfried.
that's what I thought you meant. Well, like when Jack Black animated his own music video and it looked like a fucking crayon drawing on
But yeah, so he is like, we don't know the limitations of his power because he comes from the fifth dimension. He can basically do anything he wants. I think in his first outing, he like just brings a statue to life to have a conversation with it, turns one lady into a mannequin because he wants to fuck the mannequin more than the lady he was with. And it all gets undone when he does leave the third dimension. So once you get him to say his name backwards, everything goes back to normal. So no harm, no foul, I guess.
Wait. If I'm trying to say Mr. Mxyzptlk backwards, do I get like, will he give me some leeway to like write it on a whiteboard or something and like try and arrange the letters, or do I have to do it all in my head?
So it's not that you say it. You have to have him say it. Yeah, he has to say it.
What do you mean? What kind of mental gymnastics gets him to not see that coming?
He's a goofy man, and you gotta trick him.
Oh, all right.
I think there was one time where he shows up and he says the stipulation that he has to say it backwards, and they're just like, no one could possibly do that. And he's like, look, no, I can do it.
Go ahead, Mr. Mxyzptlk. God damn. I love so much that he exists in the same goddamn world as our full Superman. And they just have to coexist. They have to share a universe.
There is, since he's a fifth dimensional being above even, the Omniverse, there is a panel in a Marvel comic where Marvel has their own kind of interpretation of this character, a character called Impossible Man. And let me post this comic panel in the Thought Bubble Discord. Heavily implied that it's just Mr. Mxyzptlk. And he just comes over to fuck with the Marvel Universe sometimes and just pretends to be a different dude.
Wait, who's the different dude?
Impossible Man.
I don't know anything about Impossible Man, but this is really fun.
Yeah, it's just another kind of trickster god type character, but Marvel's, and Marvel drew him to look like Mr. Mxyzptlk at one point.
I love the notion of like a not overused trope, but not overused trope. That's my thing I find fun. Now, but that certain characters, and maybe it's not exactly explained who, on what level of power and consciousness, but get to pass through the fabled source wall.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he could just maybe do that. Yeah,
fucking great character, and I cannot wait to see how they're gonna do him in the movies, because he's gotta come into this universe somehow. And if he's not in the movie, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
And if he's, not sounding akin to any of the people we've named that should voice him, I will also be very sad.
I really it can't be that hard for them to get Martin Short. I think he'd be perfect, pitch perfect for a character like this.
Oh, also, so how comics have their million different universes.
Right.
And I have said that the fifth dimensional beings are kind of above the Omniverse.
Mm-hmm.
in canon, whether or not it actually works out logically with all the different incarnations, it's always the same dude. No matter what he looks like, no matter how he spells his name, which is there was a time they forgot how to spell his name and spelled it wrong um, for a few issues. Actually, no, it's not for a few issues. His original name, the P and the T were swapped, so it's Mixit Pilk or whatever, however you say it. And
As
then
if
they
that
wrote
sounds
him
any less
again
legible.
later and they forgot how to write his name and swapped two of the letters, and now it's forever Pitlick.
I love the thought of anybody being under the illusion that there's like a less legible version of Mr. Mix's pedal, like where you'd immediately know you spelled it.
It's
Like,
just like that's not quite right.
I don't think there's any version of that name where that would immediately poke out to me. It's like how you could spell Hanukkah in 700 different ways. Like it's like I'm not gonna catch it if you misspell it.
Also,
Yeah. Anyway,
there is a version of Mr. Mix's Pitlick in the My Adventures with Superman show. And he looks very different.
I don't like this.
I like it. It's not the same, but I think it's fine because he has been around since, like I said, the 60s in basically the same fucking form. So it's like trying something different's nice. I also think he's like much more sinister in this version. So
Like,
it has led people to think maybe he's different. Also, Mix Pitlick is probably not his name. Like 90% sure it's not actually his name. Actually, no,
like,
it 100% isn't his name. It is on record that it is unpronounceable to a third dimensional being. But it's not like Mix's Pitlick isn't even an approximation.
oh, okay.
In the very first issue that we met him, there's a frame of him learning how to travel to the third dimension, and he just grabs a huge book off of a shelf, and it's Mix Pitlology. So I think he just named himself after the science that got him to the third dimension.
All right, but like my main issue, like the Superman, Mr. Mix's Pitlick is like that character looks pretty nice, and that's my issue. I don't think Mr. Mix's Pitlick look very. I think that's inherent to his character that he needs to look at least a little slimy. And
I like that this inherent to the character that you didn't know existed 15 minutes ago.
yeah, no, I'm gonna commit to that. The whole nature of the character that you've explained, and every one of the hundred that reflect Mr. Mix's Pitlick, I don't think that it matches that kind of character to look like anything like you would not immediately assume this is some kind of nefarious person by looking at them. He needs to look smarmy.
Well, how about he comes as a friend at first this time? He is trying to trick Superman to help him with a goal. So of course he's not going to look like the smarmy, untrustworthy son of a bitch.
I think what might match better for this kind of character is like that he'd toy with like he would be under the he would put Superman under the illusion he's trying to help him and hold over his head. What, you're just going to from the get-go assume that I have nefarious intent? This isn't the Superman I know. I thought you would give me the credit of any living creature. And just hear me out and make sure that something is going wrong. You heathen.
He ain't that smart. I'll tell you that much
not?
for free.
He's
not.
Being.
He ain't that smart. Like, in terms of intelligence of, like, how things work, yeah. Is he smart? That's a different question.
Whatever.
No, I think the way he introduces himself, he just comes up to Clark Kent's house, not Superman. He doesn't come up to the Fortress of Solitude or anything. He comes up to Clark Kent floating, looking like that. I don't think his intention was to be that tricky, that straight lying.
Sure. But anyway, I do have to go now. But God, this is the most like so much you're having so much fun you don't realize how much time has passed kind of episode.
Oh yeah, it is later in the day for you. I keep forgetting our time zones are not the same anymore.
our longest episode yet. This one.
Nah, we've gone on for longer.
Is it not?
Because we
Have
started
we gone
late.
for like 3 fucking hours? Have we gone for?
No, we started like half hour late. So
No,
it's
I know
only
we
been
did.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, have we not?
We've
Have we
definitely gone
gone
longer
for
than
this?
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we have. Yeah. Anyway, I'm very
Definitely.
satisfied by this. And
I think
I gotta
we
go.
probably haven't gone this long since we started the show on YouTube, but we've definitely gone longer before.
That makes sense. I don't think you would have kept a VR headset on your head for 2.5 hours. That's for sure.
Yeah, probably not. But I didn't do all those shows in VR.
Yeah. Well, that's how this started. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Thank you everybody for watching, and thanks Ashley for having me. Yeah. Whatever you want to put in the outro.
All right, do you want to plug?
Yeah,